Hello, friends. Today I'm going to talk about um, relationship-related topic. The last one that I tried to post, I was talking about the emotional traumas that can happen in a relationship. Um, because if people are in the twin flame journey and they got guided into different videos regarding twin flames online, people need to understand that twin flame journey isn't really like a very simple journey. It is a journey about understanding love, and when you are in that journey, or if the universe is sending you hints that you might possibly be in that journey, it's trying to wake you up to the fact about different aspects of love. That's why many twin flames will undergo different kinds of love in their life, and it's usually not an easy journey. Most of us would really love to just be with one partner throughout our life, and if not with one partner, we want that true love in our life from within our heart and soul. But in order to get our heart to that level where we meet that true love is sometimes not an easy journey, especially because when we are growing up in this density filled world where our parents and society and friends have shown us sometimes darker aspects of love, and sometimes we normalize those darker aspects of love, because when we are growing up, whatever we see as normal around us, that becomes the norm. And whatever we are seeing everyone or mostly everyone do, we think that's the right choice or the right path. But that's not actually true of the true core or true essence of any soul. Even when evil is happening, or even when something really wrong and out of sync with what should be the true soul's journey happens in our life, and if we end up normalizing it, the core truth doesn't go away, that if we have normalized something wrong or something misaligned with our soul, that becomes the truth of actually all beings on earth. So what I mean by this is, for example, say you're a child who's getting bullied in school, or you are someone who has narcissistic parents and your parents are not able to become the provider for you. So while the core truth might be that most parents are loving towards all their children, it's also equally true that there are some children who do not have parents who always think about them, who always take care of them, or whose primary intention is to take care of the child. There are parents whose primary intention is only self-care, or whose primary intention is self-serving needs. So those kind of parents end up being the narcissistic parents for a child. Or if a child is getting bullied in school, is it necessary that the one who's getting bullied is the one who's wrong? Or most of the time, the one who's getting bullied is likely talking about something that others can't comprehend, or behaving in a way that others can't comprehend, but the core to truth doesn't go away, that this child was being bullied. Just because most people normalize the bullying of that child doesn't make it the right thing to do, right? And it's not just about bullying, because sometimes it is necessary in life that when we are going the wrong path, that some people come in our lives who will oppose us. So understanding this difference between friends who are just trying to oppose us to guide us towards a better way, versus friends who are just simply trying to make our day miserable, is the difference between knowing friends who are just not on the same page as us, but are still our overall benefactors in life, or overall good friendships of life to behold, versus those friends who just want us to see in trouble, and that's why would either bully us or misguide us, or deliberately pretend to be our friends but manipulate us. So these toxic aspects of love happen to most of us while we are growing up, and in some aspect or the other. Whereas the child who's, say, getting bullied in school always or most of the time might be facing that bullying, say, 10 times in a year or something, that there could still be another child in that same school who might be facing the same bullying but at a minor level, right? So until the people who come to realize who are the bullies, who are the ones who are just spreading negativity or just wanting domination over others without any purpose, if a school authority doesn't figure out about children's bullying in school, then the bullying will continue. And once a perpetrator finds out a few targets and they don't get stopped for the doing the wrong things, they keep growing and growing and growing in their narcissism and egotism of trying to control someone else. And while it is true that someone who's bullying someone at school might be having an even tougher life probably at home, or they might have had past lives where they were bullied or something, and this was some negative karma playing over in this lifetime. Whatever the sole reason or the practical reason for a person to be bullying someone, eventually, if no one stops it in the right manner, it can get escalated, right? And you cannot just simply stop a bully by punishing them, or stop a bully by not figuring out all the reasons behind why that person was bullying, or why a group of people are bullying someone or attacking someone. Because if it is, say, some child is getting bullied, I read recently some stories online on Instagram where a teenager was getting bullied for being a softer and more feminine boy than others in his school. So if people don't understand that it is okay for a teenager to be more feminine in nature, it is okay for a man to be feminine in nature, it's okay if that acceptability is not found in our schools for that person, and that boy doesn't have that support system even in their social life to make them feel okay about their feminine nature, then the bullying in school can have intense traumatic effect on them. And if along with the bullying, those people who don't even accept his femininity start torturing him psychologically or physically for his choices, or sometimes it's not even his choice, it's just his core inner nature. So at those moments, those teenagers end up committing suicide or doing some rash acts, right? So if education is not provided in schools in the right way, if after an incident happens where the kid has committed suicide, or something bad happened to the kid because other kids were bullying him and they attacked him, what happens? The school has not created a zone of education. Not just the school, our society hasn't created a zone for understanding that there are different kinds of humans, and different people will manifest their core physical inner nature in a different way. So this acceptability about certain differences in between us is what leads to usually bullying in schools. Or if people have too much darkness already in their life and they were bullied about their feminine nature, they can also in contrast start torturing people for it. So there are so many different reasons why a child could be bullied, or a child could be not accepted for who they are. And this is not just true in the school system, it can be true in our social systems, it can be true in our family systems, where people are just not accepted as who they are. Or if people start accepting them, they have to also start accepting all the differences in between them, inside of them, that they have oppressed and repressed, which also sometimes makes people deny the core truth. Like if they had not seen that this bullying child was bullying because maybe his parents or her parents are really tough on them at home, and that child also needs love. So if the teachers don't understand that about that child, and they just give a punishment to a bully without understanding the core problem of the bully, then also it ends up usually being a false solution to the core problem that was happening in school. One of which was that some child was getting bullied, but there are other ancillary problems surrounding the people who are bullying that child. And if their problem doesn't get solved, then the core problem of bullying won't go away. These people, if they are ever punished and caught for their bullying, they would just get a some kind of punishment from the school, possibly. Sometimes they might not even get punishment from the school if the school is accepting of the mentality of the people who were bullying. So there are many things that can happen where justice might not get served for a child who got bullied, or the child who got committed suicide because of bullying and ostracization for just being who they were. So why am I bringing this topic about these kind of situations that can happen to us is because all of these are related to emotional abuse. All of these are related to understanding love and compassion of a level that most of us don't think about. We are only usually operating at the level of love that is about the camaraderie that friends can have. So sometimes when people are bullying, they feel a camaraderie, like, oh, this person is different and we are all the same, so that's why we will bully someone. But that is not fair, right? Because just because someone is slightly different from them or vastly different from you doesn't give you the right to just get them out of the group. In fact, that is the chance of understanding camaraderie at a different level, that you should be able to accept people of all kinds in your friendship group and be able to connect with them, even if they are different. You have to that's the karmic opportunity provided by God, that if someone is very vastly different from you or even slightly different from you, why are they different? If you can develop the empathy for understanding why they are different, if you can develop the sympathy towards them for being bullied, if you can develop compassion towards them, if you can develop the skill to fight for them, if you see that someone is getting bullied and you're not the bullier, but you have the capacity to stop the bullying, and you do that, or report the bullying. There are so many skills we can develop within ourselves when a negative situation like this arises in any social group or a social setting or a family setting. But in order for everyone to step up to what they are capable of doing, one has to also understand that that negative situation that is happening has a purpose towards it. And if people don't understand it, they never get to work through the karma they could have worked through if they had realized that when a bullying was happening, what was their part and what they could have done to stop that, or what they could have done to not encourage that, or what they could have done to shut down the bullying at the start. There are always multiple solutions, but not always people step up to the plate to take up the solutions that they are capable of taking. So I'm mentioning the bullying story in a twin flame journey because every twin flame likewise has a tale to tell where they've gone through a very severe traumatic life experience, like bullying, like having narcissistic parents, like having physically or emotionally abusive parents or siblings, or people who are narcissistic and unempathetic, and people who have isolated them, ostracized them, bullied them, sexually abused them, or emotionally abused them, or emotionally manipulated them. And each twin flame will have their own set of baggages that they had to go through in life in order to understand and develop the compassion, the level of compassion that was present in Jesus, the level of compassion that was present in Mother Mary. Because can you imagine when Mother Mary gave birth to a child when she was a virgin, while she's revered for being the Virgin Mother now by many churches? At the time when she likely gave birth to a child like that, I'm sure there must have been a lot of social ostracization even for Mother Mary. And likewise, while Jesus is revered now as Christ, and we pray to him, Christians pray to him. I also pray to him. That's why I mentioned that, even though I'm not born a Christian. But I follow many religious figures and their teachings in a way that aligns with my soul, rather than being religious about any particular religion. So even Jesus might not have had a very easy life when he was growing up. That's why, from what I know about him, I know that for a few years he didn't even live in the area where he was born. He had traveled towards the east, and he had gone on his journey of exploration about life and love and people. And when he got back after those explorations, after that he became the healer that he became. After that he became the spiritual teacher that he became. After that he became the guide for so many people when he came back from his journey. So because Mother Mary and Jesus didn't have a very easy life, but they were able to develop a level of compassion and love in their heart that was beyond what they could have developed if they hadn't gone through some of their sufferings. And also because they were able to transcend the suffering that they went through, which no one really talks about. But that doesn't mean that, given the social circumstances of how people usually lead their life, it is very likely that they had a lot of pain and hardship in the growing ages of Jesus's life when he was young. But they both transcended it, and that's how many twin flames are also partly learning how to become more closer to the way Mother Mary loved, to the way Jesus loved. Or I might in the future talk about other Hindu gods as well, or maybe right now I can talk, like, because in Hinduism we have as twin flames Shiv Shakti, and as twin flames Radha Krishna. And even in Shiv Shakti's life, if you look at the different reincarnations, that Shiva didn't have different reincarnations, but his wife had different reincarnations. And when she was Sati, she couldn't handle the insult of her husband, and that's why she got burnt away. But then Shiva had to live without Sati for many, many years before again Sati was reborn. And Sati had to take a lot of pains to convince Shiva that she is Sati's next reincarnation, in order for Shiva to again accept her, because by the time after his wife died, he went through such a lot of pain and such a lot of grief, and he shut down his heart in such a way that it wasn't easy for him to again come back to believing in love, trusting in love. And that's why Shiva is also the god who lives through all the darkness and all the ghosts and other ghouls and other darkness oriented beings, because he himself went through that darkness. But because he was a light being, even though he went through living with a lot of dark people, and because he was a light being and he had a purpose in being a light being, and even though he's the destroyer god in Hinduism, his divine counterpart had to come back to balance him out again, to restore the balance and the cosmic balance and other purposes. So, and likewise with Radha Krishna, even though they were in love with each other, they never married each other because there was a different destiny set up for them. So many twin flames are like Radha Krishna, where they may not be able to transcend some of the systems in place in their life. Sometimes they may not be able to transcend even social problems, because Radha was married to someone else, and Krishna, even though he was born as a herdsman's tribe, he was raised by a herdsman's tribe, he was actually a prince, and that's why he had to go back to his princely role. And in those times, cross-cultural marriages between different caste system wasn't allowed. If someone is married, divorces weren't possibly around that time. So because of these various reasons, they never married. But even though Radha Krishna never married, they were always in love with each other. And even though they were in love with each other in that lifetime, say now Radha Krishna gets born again in our generation, now what would their story be? Their story in this new generation might be that again they might be born into two different social systems, caste systems, but now they will have to fight those challenges. And now they are allowed in this new age to fight those challenges based on caste, to fight the challenges based on social status. That's why they might come back together when if they are able to fight the caste related or social status related things. And is it just Radha and Krishna who, if they are reborn, who might face these challenges? No, any kind of twin flame couple who are born on this earth with some diverse things between them that divide them socially or socioeconomically, or any other paradigms that divides people to humans, those kind of divisions need to be broken down slowly over time. And that's why some twin flames are born with these life purposes, where they have to figure out a way to break down the social divide, figure out a way to work through age divides, to work through ageism, to work through body image issues. Every twin flame will have a different thing. Like for me, it is definitely a body image issue, and in order that I can be prepared for the body image related issues in the future or even in the present, I have had 25 years of my life I have spent in understanding and accepting my body the way it is. And that is what many women struggle with, which I think I'll make the next video about the struggles of body image that women go through. But every twin flame couple will have that something like that, something related to their core wounds in life that other people might have put into them because of the way they were raised. Someone could have a body image issue, someone could have an issue about their education, someone could have issues about what they had in monetarily in their life, someone could have ego-based issues, someone could have, everyone will have a different issue that they have to work through, transmute, learn from, forgive, accept about themselves, accept about others, learn what things should be changed in their surroundings, because most twin flames do have a purpose by being twin flames to change something about the fabric of life, and things that need to be broken down. They come on earth to change that. That's why only Radha Krishna came to show something about true love, that love can be beyond just marriage. And Shiv Shakti also came to show something about love. So every time a twin flame couple comes together, many of those twin flames who have a higher purpose have to go through a really tough journey in order to get towards that purpose they are meant to live together with someone on this earth. And that's why it is always a harder journey. So the more harder your journey, usually harder or more deeper is your soul purpose of influencing others, impacting others around you or in your life. That's why when we go through darkness filled experiences, we have to understand that that darkness had a purpose, and we can only understand that purpose once we start forgiving that darkness, once we start accepting that sometimes some darkness everyone faces in life, that they just have to simply go through as a challenge to learn more about the core soul nature of love, core nature about loving those who don't love us, core nature about how to love without making the love toxic, and different things like that. And if we don't realize that, if we don't bring that self-realization inside our soul, it is very difficult to then move towards true love, because unless you know what is not true love, you can't move towards true love. Unless you know how to be love, you can't move towards true love. Unless you know how to be like self-caring as well as giving and loving, and how to receive love also, then also you can't move towards true love. And because of different systems that were created in life, created on earth, created by our parents, created by our society and family, sometimes it takes a while to break through those systems that are not serving us. Sometimes it takes a while to work through the systems that do serve us, to understand what should be preserved and what should be discarded. And sometimes you have to also understand yourself, to know what are your flaws, so that when you are in a good relationship with someone, be it a twin flame, be it some other partner, you have to understand what is the part you play, the role you play in making that a beautiful relationship, and what is the part you play in making that a destructive relationship. Because we have all got the capacity to destroy a relationship. We have all got the capacity to build a relationship with someone, but whether it will be more destructive or more constructive depends not only on us but also the other person. And that's how you find your true twin flame partner, knowing and starting to build the knowing about who is capable of being on our side, who is capable of standing besides us as a life partner. Especially if you have a big soul purpose or even a minor soul purpose, if you don't have the right partner beside you, you will never be able to achieve the purpose that you came here to do. Or even if you achieve part of the purpose that you came here to do, the full extent of the purpose will not be fulfilled if you haven't developed core understanding about yourself, core understanding about another. And a core understanding means not only to look at your positive traits, but also to look at your negative traits and see where your negative traits are hindering you from looking beyond the veil of illusions that this life has created around us, for us, via various ways. There are a lot of illusions always existing on earth. Some of the illusions are within us, where we get blinded to good things when we are in our ego trip, or we can ignore the good things when we are stuck in certain ways and decide that this is the only path and there is no other path possible. And sometimes it is just that our learning hasn't happened yet, so some harsher learnings have to come our way until we learn why those harsher learnings are coming, what is it that those harsher experiences are supposed to teach us. Because God wants every one of us to have a beautiful life, love-filled life, a care-filled life. But in order to go towards a love-filled and care-filled life, if you hang on to the people or hang on to the beliefs and systems that don't serve you towards going into a beautiful way of living, then you will be stuck in your in the old paradigms that are wrong, or old paradigms that are not right for your soul, paradigms that old or new that are toxic towards a good way of living. So because even in the older way of living, there is a lot of teachings in the old religions, religious texts that are still actually needed even now on earth, but which things should be carried forward and which belief systems need to be shared is an important thing people have to learn for themselves. And until they learn it from themselves, they'll keep getting trapped by the illusions of the things they believe is the right thing. Whereas what is truly the right thing is usually very different from what we believe is the right thing. And only with experiences and self-knowledge and inner and deeper knowledge about how humans function, or how the earth functions, or how the universe functions, then only as you develop these qualities, that's when you will realize what is the right path of true love for your soul, what is the right path of true love that your soul is able to express and be truly satisfied with, or truly in bliss with. Because unless you understand what true bliss is, you will always be chasing bliss, you will always be chasing ephemeral things that bring you joy, which aren't really the true things that can bring joy within us, or in our life, or in the lives of others. Those who are able to realize some aspects of this can bring some joys, can bring true love in their life, but those who are not able to realize any aspect of what I'm talking about in this video will have a hard time then having and holding true love in their life, and they'll be stuck in the illusions of life. So if you have any questions about the video I made, please drop a comment. If you want to know deeper about any of the topics I broached in this video, please drop a comment. Take care and have a great day.